Where to flee now to find a safe place? That's what the residents of Israel were shouting when Iran launched hundreds of ballistic missiles at densely populated Israeli cities again. Explosions shook the ground. The Iron Dome system was destroyed. This isn't a war movie, it's reality, and it happened just minutes ago. With the launch of hundreds of ballistic missiles toward the occupied territories, an operation in response to the barbaric attacks of the Zionist regime was resumed, according to Iran's official news agency, IRNA. On Thursday, June 14, 2025, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard announced in a statement that at 3:50 a.m. local time, it launched hundreds of missiles at Israel. This marks Tehran's 12th attack on Tel Aviv and other Israeli cities. Imagine, guys, a usually quiet night suddenly turning into a nightmare. Nearly 700 missiles, including modern ballistic ones, rained down on densely populated cities. Israelis who had been living calmly until then fled in panic to underground bunkers seeking shelter. But that's not all. What's even more terrifying is that Israel's bunker and shelter system, a source of pride for decades, proved unable to accommodate the massive number of civilians needing protection. In the city of Tamra, a shocking fact came to light. The mayor, Musa Rumi, with a trembling voice, admitted that only 40% of the city's 47,000 residents have access to safe rooms or proper shelters. That means over 22,000 people were left without adequate protection. In the city of Bat Yam, a horrifying scene unfolded as dozens of Iranian missiles struck a residential area. Survivors with tears in their eyes recounted how they had to cram into stifling, overcrowded underground bunkers. "The bunker is full," shouted one resident, holding their baby in their arms. Imagine the panic they were in, hearing the relentless sound of sirens with no more shelters available. They all wondered, when will this bombardment end, and can they still rely on their country's defense system? According to military analysts, Iran may have already mapped Israel's strategic bunkers and deliberately targeted areas that would force residents to evacuate en masse. This psychological strategy aims not only to destroy physical infrastructure, but also to undermine the morale and confidence of Israelis in their country's defense system. A striking fact: Israel's bunker standards turned out to be uneven. In major cities like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, bunkers are more adequate, but in smaller towns and suburbs, civilian protection facilities remain severely limited. Iran appears to be exploiting this weakness, striking simultaneously in multiple directions, forcing residents to scatter to bunkers that cannot accommodate everyone. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, announced that during the True Promise 3 operation early Thursday morning, advanced Fatah hypersonic missiles were used. As a result, Israelis hiding in bunkers were no longer safe. The missiles pierced Israel's widely touted air defense system, sending a strong message to the regime and its Western allies. The IRGC described this latest phase of the operation as a turning point, stating that the deployment of first-generation Fatah missiles marks the beginning of the end of Israel's mythical missile defense system. The IRGC congratulated the commanders and fighters of the IRGC's aerospace forces for successfully carrying out this noble and glorious mission. The powerful and highly maneuverable Fatah missiles repeatedly shook the shelters of the cowardly Zionists that night, sending a clear signal about Iran's strength to Tel Aviv's belligerent allies, who continue to live in illusions and false assumptions, according to a statement published by Press TV. The statement emphasizes that the series of missile strikes proves Iran now fully controls the skies over Israel. Israeli settlers are completely defenseless against the precise strikes of the Paramula country. According to military experts, the Fatah is a two-stage solid-fuel missile with a range of 1,400 kilometers and a terminal speed of 13 to 15 Mach. This speed, combined with a movable nozzle that allows the missile to maneuver in any direction, both inside and outside Earth's atmosphere, makes it invulnerable to interception by any existing missile defense system. The 12th phase of the operation was the most intense to date and saw Iranian missiles break through multiple layers of Israel's air defense system. Despite Israel denying the success of Iran's missiles, videos on social media show the skies over Tel Aviv and Haifa lit up by Iranian-made missiles that breached Israel's three-tier missile defense system. On the other hand, Iran reportedly has a secret weapon that is shaking the world: Estimates suggest over 150,000 missiles are ready to be launched directly from Iranian territory toward Israeli cities, most at supersonic and hypersonic speeds. Even more alarming for Israel, Iran has launched missiles with a 1,450-kilometer range that can reach Israeli and U.S. bases in the Middle East. This means Iran can strike anyone in the region. Furthermore, according to circulating news and expert analysis, Iran is likely reconsidering the nuclear option. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian stated that Iran would deliver a decisive yet restrained response to Israel following Israeli airstrikes that killed several Iranian military personnel and nuclear scientists. Military experts predict that the most intense confrontation in the history of the two countries will continue, with no apparent signs of stopping. Meanwhile, as the conflict intensifies and the number of casualties rises on both sides, the international community is calling for a ceasefire and de-escalation to prevent the war from spreading across the Middle East. Reports indicate that Russia and China are also convening emergency meetings to address this crisis. Friends, the situation is truly tense. The entire world is holding its breath, awaiting the next developments in this conflict between Iran and Israel. One thing is certain, this is no ordinary war. It's a battle of the most advanced military technologies of our time. Don't miss the latest news with us. Click like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to stay updated with the latest news and turn on notifications. Finally, write in the comments who you think will win this technological war. Iran with its hypersonic missiles or Israel with its Iron Dome technology, considered the most advanced in the world? See you in the next video, which will be even more thrilling. Yeah!